Hello, I just want to let you know that I'm currently putting together this week's episode, and it's come to light that two people's recordings didn't actually save properly. I'm not going to name any names, but Connor and Tom are only around for around half the episode before they disappear. This wasn't apparent to us when we were actually recording, so what you're going to hear is a mostly complete episode. Everyone managed to make their pitches, etc., but by the time we get to the point where we decide who wins, or rather where I decide who wins and everyone argues with me, two people's contributions to that part of the discussion are noticeably absent, so I've cut around it as best I can. So it's not up to our usual standard, but we actually don't have time to re-record it. So what can you do, right? This is show business. It's definitely not. It's definitely not show business. You'll still get to hear all the contributions and find out who the winner is. So in that sense, it's entirely complete. And if I hadn't said anything, I don't know if you had noticed. I probably shouldn't have said anything.
Oi, what's the best game where you get to eat pie? What's the best game where you play a dead guy? You'll find out in VG247's podcast. Here, what's the best game where you swing from a rope? And what's the best game where you batter the Pope? Assassin's Creed 2. Like I said, you will find out in this here podcast.
Hello and welcome to VG247's Best Games Ever podcast, where we attempt to find the best game within a very specific category. For example, this week we're looking for the best game where you play a dead guy, because it's from the intro song. Now, the undead are fairly well represented in terms of video game protagonists. In fact, they're better represented than South Americans, middle-aged women, and the Welsh. But what is our fascination with the undead? They're portrayed in stories as sexy, powerful beings with impeccable tailoring. But in reality, they'd probably be the exact opposite of those things. Tom Orry.
Hello.
How you doing?
Fine, thank you, Jim.
Alex Donaldson and Carter are also joining us. So, hey. Dead guy. Now, it's a bit weird when we do these sorts of topics now, because there's now like an intro sequence that has a number of suggestions. So, did anyone consult the intro sequence before picking their thing today?
No, I'm an audio listener. I didn't even look. I don't watch the video.
I'm an audio. Unbelievable.
I still haven't even heard the jingle.
Have you not?
The jingle you do before you choose?
Yeah.
I've not heard it.
Yes,
I've
you
never
have.
listened to it.
You have heard it because I sent it to you once because you were curious about what it sounded like, and then your feedback was it's not very good.
Was that the real one?
Yeah.
I thought that got scrapped.
Connor, I see your lighting situation is still the same.
Yeah.
He looks like he's in a dungeon.
I did the classic thing where I looked on Amazon for like proper PC lighting, and I was like, how much does this cost to get a good, lighting setup? And I was like, nah, it's all right.
It's the 75% closed curtains for me. That's the
it's the proper gaming
you
setup.
Want to let light in, but not too much.
Just enough light so I can like walk around, but not too much.
We were saying last time, Alex, I think I'm so tempted to pitch his voice down and just credit him anonymously.
Especially when I lean back like this upwards in my face.
All right, okay, let's carry on. Do you think we should let Tom go first this time?
Yeah.
Just to get it over with.
Yeah, go on.
Let's do it.
All right, okay, for one time only. Tom, what have you got for us?
I think I've made a mistake for this one.
Right.
Because I thought I had a good choice, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a game that has been they re-released it like a HD remaster kind of a few years ago.
Yeah.
And it was Shadow Man. But then I thought back, are you actually dead in Shadow Man? I was trying to remember what the deal was because there was something about a bear and using a bear or something. And I think it might be that the brother is dead, possibly. It's quite dark. The whole game is it's very dark.
Some kind of undead.
I don't know if he's actually dead in it. So I didn't choose Shadow Man, to be clear, because I wasn't sure if it was actually not the slam dunk I thought it was. I mean, Shadow Man also possibly isn't as good as what I think it was back when I played it on the Dreamcast many years ago.
I mean, it's definitely not. It's like it's crap.
Yeah, well, whatever. So that's why I didn't pick that, and I thought I've really got to get Foot Manager into this.
Yeah,
got to choose Foot Manager, and I thought it's a bit tasteless, right? If I'm like in Football Manager 23, actually this guy had a road traffic accident and is dead, and he's actually in the database still. So I didn't do that, and I thought, how can I make it work without being tasteless and sort of like just a bit grim? I thought, mod community, I must have done something, right? So I was Googling for quite a while, trying to find something that would fit this. And for Football Manager 19, there is a 1966, 1967 season throwback database, right?
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So
That sounds interesting.
You can load that up using Steam Workshop and just go in and live the world of the 66, 67 season, which is a big time in football because England just won the World Cup and everyone was like, we're brilliant, etc. I don't obviously have any memory of this because I wasn't born, but apparently it was a big deal at the time.
Yeah, it was. They went on about it a lot,
and they still gone about it now.
Yeah,
and to be fair, I haven't done a lot of research about these players that you get to play with, or in this mod. But I'm just going to take a guess that a large chunk of them are dead.
Well, I think some of the players are probably still around and kicking, but the managers are always older, so the managers you have to assume that they're
there's no
old.
doubt in my mind that probably a good chunk of these, like I don't know, I'm going to guess like 30% of the people in that database are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. So have you played this mod, Tom?
I have installed it. I looked at it and booted it up. It's quite a good mod, actually. It's got all like the photos and stuff are all like of the players of the time and stuff. Just quite a lot of effort's gone into it. I looked into the mod and apparently it took the guy 3 years to make this.
Do they change the? So in Football Manager you have interviews and stuff like that. Do they change the outlets that you get interviewed by?
I don't know. To be honest, I didn't get that far. But I have. The guy says that he spoke to football historians, to make sure the stats are accurate. Like, it's a lot of effort for what I imagine is like, I don't think he's getting anything from this. He just released this mod.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what I can see from a very brief look, is that it is well done. The database, it doesn't cover every single league that New Football Manager does, but I don't know how many. Like, I don't know what the deal was with how easy it would be to find out what was going on in the mid 60s in like countries that like he doesn't have easy access to. But
people didn't write things down back then, did they?
No,
They had to keep it all in their heads.
Yeah.
This is a whole cottage industry. I'm just looking at it and like, there's 81, 82 databases. There's
tons. There's
90s databases.
It is fascinating.
Early 2000s.
It's very fascinating, but I just want to remind everyone, two people who on this current recording who were there at the time, that when Kelsey tried to pick a mod for Doom 2, people kicked right off.
Yeah, but Jim, exactly. Jim, you ruined it. I was sitting here and my initial feeling was like, oh, I can absolutely jump on this pick because not only is it a mod, but Tom hasn't played it. And then I remember that Kelsey won. So you've established that it's totally fine to pick mods and games you don't play.
Precedent,
Okay.
You've set a precedent.
The Supreme Court.
So I just want what I want to point out is that Tom was so vehemently opposed.
The rules have changed.
On moral grounds, you were against it, but now you're using it to your advantage because the precedent has been set.
The world's changed. Like, you have to adapt, right?
All right, Tom. So, Connor, let's have your pick then.
Yeah, so I had a similar...
I know you've played yours, actually.
Yeah, I had a similar sort of ethical debate. Believe it or not, the pick I eventually came to wasn't my first pick. I tried to go to sports games too.
Yeah.
I looked at some WWE games and I was like, nah, it's a bit rough. It's like having a real person there is a bit... Yeah, I wasn't cool with that. So I went all the way to the other side of it. And I was like... Here's a game where tons of people die and you play them all the time. Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 11, it has tons of characters who get brutally murdered and sort of like revived, and you can play them all the time. Scorpion's probably the most well-known. Sub-Zero comes to his house and kills him. I think he cuts his head off.
Yeah.
Depends on sort of what game or cartoon you watch.
Is Scorpion and Sub-Zero, are they both undead? Or am I thinking of undead?
Well, that's an interesting
I think it depends on which game you're playing.
It depends on
Right.
which Sub-Zero we're talking about as well. Because Sub-Zero kills Scorpion, and then he gets revived as a big fiery guy, and then Scorpion kills Sub-Zero, even though Raiden's like, no, don't do that. I know we're in the Mortal Kombat tournament, but don't kill Sub-Zero, that's bad. He does it anyway, and then Quan Chi revives Sub-Zero as Noob Saibot, and Noob Saibot is this evil, like, ghoul. Alex is sick of this pick already. It's been 2 minutes.
Alex is like, oh, not Mortal Kombat deep lore, please.
We don't know the deep lore.
And I like Street Fighter deep lore, so I'm sitting in a Street Fighter t-shirt.
There's a bunch of stupid lore in Mortal Kombat, especially the newer games where everyone gets murked and then time travel nonsense kind of brings a lot of them back as like NetherRealm evil people. But the fact is, in Mortal Kombat, you can beat a character in round 1 as like, and slice them in half or cut them in half or eat their guts and blow their brains out. And then round 2, you're back to it. You're playing once again as the main character who's just recently been, brutally murdered. And I think it's a really good pick because Mortal Kombat 11's great as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Didn't Mortal Kombat like massively fall off after Mortal Kombat 2?
Oh, that was like a million years ago. What are you talking about?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I'm a child of
Mortal
the 90s,
Kombat.
So...
Like, there were some really bad ones, like Deadly Alliance, and like, there's one where they made a new character called like Shijinko, and he goes around the realms, and it's awful. But then they rebooted it with Mortal Kombat 10, and then that was pretty good. And then Mortal Kombat 11 was pretty good, and then Mortal Kombat 12 was all right. But of those reboot ones, Mortal Kombat 11 is the best one, and it's pretty class, and it's the most gruesome thing ever.
I just want to ask a question, Connor, right?
Yeah.
So are you saying that in a game, if the character dies, but then you can keep playing, that counts as you playing as a dead person? Like, what about Mario?
Well, he
Is
doesn't.
Mario dead?
Well, you don't see him die.
He dies?
Well, you do. He dies all the time.
Do you? To what?
I want to change my choice.
Well, I mean, even if there's a debate on that bit, like Scorpion gets murdered and then comes back, and he,
I think you need to
chops a bunch of
stick.
people's heads off.
You just stick with the actual undead character, not just any character that dies in a game.
Yeah,
if I'd known this, I would have picked Commander Shepard.
Yeah,
I would have picked Mass Effect too.
You still could, right? Mass Effect, you probably still could do
a really
that.
good pick. Actually.
I've got a better one.
But yeah, okay. Mortal Kombat 11, Scorpion gets his head cut off, his wife and kid dies, and he comes back as the main character of Mortal Kombat. There we go.
I do absolutely love that. How Tom's like, oh, what if I just pick Sonic the Drowned?
It would work.
It would work.
I mean, yeah, I'd accept it. I'd allow it.
Loophole in this video game podcast is that all characters that die, you can carry on playing as them.
I have a short story because I know you love those.
There we go.
I was a teenager and I had bought a copy of Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
And my parents did the parent thing where they want to check out the new game you bought.
Yeah.
And I think they saw... I was just going through I was like trying to do the fatalities because that's like one of the coolest bits of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And I remember my mum was really, really shocked. She was like, Jesus Christ, like, what is this?
I'm stuck up on the fact that you bought this game as a teenager.
You can just do it. Everyone knows
like,
you can just do it.
Mortal Kombat 11 in my mind came out like last year. How old are you, Connor?
I'm 25.
I'm
It is
shocked.
about 10 years. It is about 10 years ago. It was a 360.
I know
gen
it came out
game, wasn't it?
2019, so I might be lying. I think I might be thinking of 10.
Mortal Kombat 11. So I'm talking about 9. 9 was 360 game.
There's just holes in all of your stories.
Yeah,
Connor,
okay.
honestly.
This story is
MK11 is
2019.
like
so it's
4 years old.
4 years ago, so I'd have been 21.
3 years. Yeah, 4 years.
I was living at home at the time, but yeah, I'm thinking of 10. So this is nonsense.
You're
Anyway,
saying your mum treated you like you're a child still, is what you're saying.
she certainly did 4 years ago.
Are you submitting Mortal Kombat 11 or 9
I am.
or 10?
Ignore that story. I tried to throw in a cool story, and it's totally nonsense. And Tom called me out on it.
You forgot that you were in your mid-20s.
It's all flown
momentarily.
by.
Happens to them a bit.
I hit the age of like 21, and then it's all kind of faded away. I don't know.
That'll happen. All right. Okay. So Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
11. You haven't specifically picked an undead character.
I have. I said Scorpion. That was the first thing I picked. Scorpion.
Yeah, but then you went on about how it doesn't matter. It depends on which Scorpion, where in the lore you actually are.
Look. You got to take, you got to take some shots and try your
and
best
then
to get
you tried to
points in.
pass off dying in game and coming back
Yeah, I did try and do
as
that.
a form of undead. I'm not sure that counts.
Listen,
But
recent events and podcasts have shown me that you can just say whatever.
you can just say
get away
whatever,
with
to
it.
be fair, actually.
So I'm not going to apologize for shooting my shot on some of those sketchier points.
I hope if Kelsey
you know.
listens to the episodes that came after that one where she caused a massive upset, she enjoys the fact that we're still debating it 9 episodes later.
Yeah.
I've got an alert come up here that says participant Tom is having a problem. Are you having a problem, Tom? Yeah, evergreen tweet, Zencaster. All right, okay. Lastly, let's go to Donaldson, because Donaldson, why I was asking about the intro sequence earlier is because you have picked something that's in the intro sequence.
I didn't realise.
So I just wanted to establish that this is right. We
But
need
also,
to make a new.
in my defence, I messaged you this morning saying, what are the topics? And you sent me the topics, and I responded in record time. I think it was 60 seconds before I gave you back the names of the games, because the 2 topics that we are recording today, to shatter the illusion that we could record these one a week.
I did notice that it was instantaneous.
It was instant. And so it's quite a current pick as well, because this game is coming to modern platforms in a month, or indeed, I don't know when this goes out, possibly this month. By the time this goes out, I don't know how it.
By the time this goes out, it might be this week. But
no, I don't think, because it's the end of June. But the game is Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. So.
That's a belter as well.
It's a great game. So it's a Capcom game. It's from it's directed and created by Shu Takumi, where Shu is the Ace Attorney guy. He's the guy who directed and wrote and planned most of the early Ace Attorney games, and indeed, was the director and the concept and the scenario writer of the first game. So he was absolutely the guy that created Ace Attorney. He's also worked on Resident Evil and stuff like that, but he's mostly been the Ace Attorney dude. It's basically an adventure game, and you play as a guy called Sissel, and Sissel is recently deceased, and you're a ghost, and you can do the things that ghosts can do. So you can sort of sometimes you can get inside people and hear and read their thoughts a little bit. But mostly you're knocking items over and things like that. The things that you see on bloody Ghost Hunters, where it's like, oh, that door slammed, oh, there was a gust of wind. Those are the powers that Sissel has. And basically, over the course of the storyline of the game, you are unraveling, you're saving other people's lives, and also unraveling the mystery of how you died. And it's just wonderful. And it's just got all that energy of Ace Attorney, just done in a slightly different way, and there's sort of a lot of bits in it there. It's like a Rube Goldberg machine, where you'll trigger a ghostly thing, a little gust of wind, and it's sort of like that Rube Goldberg machine or butterfly effect thing, where this tiny thing that you can influence as a ghost, because you can only influence small things, but that has a knock-on effect to something else, to something else, to something else, to accomplish the big change that you want to accomplish in the world. And it's just a wonderful game. I think absolutely everybody should play it when it comes to it's coming to Switch, PlayStation, PC, and even Xbox, in a rare move for a cheaper Capcom game. Like the Ace Attorney games, the more recent release didn't come over.
That's pretty good. I wonder how that's going to work on a big screen, because
because it was quite touchscreen orientated.
Yeah,
but I guess they're going to give you a big cursor.
Yeah, I guess so. I played it on iPad when it came out.
Yeah.
When it got re-released for iPad many, many moons ago, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Just a incredible. It shares a lot of lineage with point and click games. It's not really a point and click, is it? It's a very story heavy puzzler, but
it's a little bit of both.
We're figuring out just sort of which object to nudge to make the thing happen. Like you say, like a Rube Goldberg machine. There's this mad series of events that you have to trigger.
The thing I like about it for this category, and I guess this is why you put it in the intro video, which, to be clear, I didn't realise, but the thing about it is this is a game where your player character being dead is integral to the whole concept and rhyme and reason of the game, which is
I'm just glad nobody picked Murdered Soul Suspect.
Yeah. I just think... So I picked this because I'm an Ace Attorney mega fan. One of my favourite video game series. So anything Shu makes, I will play. And I played this on DS, and I don't love it as much as I love Ace Attorney. But it is just wonderful and clever and smart. And I honestly had no idea that Jim liked it, because I don't know if Jim likes Ace Attorney.
I like it. I like the mechanics of it, but some of the writing is like atrocious and problematic.
No, Ghost Trick. It's so wonderful, and I think it's one of those funny games where the old meta scores. It was like 83, I think 83, 85, that sort of region, and I think when this remastered version comes out, as long as the controls are good and stuff, it will score significantly higher, because people have a higher appreciation of games like this now. Whereas on the DS, where this came out, games like this were sort of 10 a penny, even though games as good as this were rare. And so, but I think despite this being absolutely cream of the crop, it sort of got lost among. There were a lot of, and there were the good ones that rose up. So like the Ace Attorney games obviously had their heyday on DS, and like Hotel Dusk, things like that. But there was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of other stuff that just sort of fell away. And unfortunately, I don't think this really had as much success as it deserved, critical or commercial. Yeah. But I'm so glad they're bringing it to other platforms now.
Someone in Capcom must know how good it is, so it's like we need to keep trying with this one, because like they've done like it felt like it was a perfect fit for the iPad. Yeah, I think it did okay on the iPad.
It probably did, yeah.
But yeah, it definitely deserves a lot more love. It's more of a sort of critical darling than a success in its own right, but it's a really good game. All right, okay, I need to pick something now, so we're going to play that jingle that Tom hates. I can't in good conscience give it to Mortal Kombat, because Mortal Kombat is not as good as Ghost Trick. But I'm also fully aware that Donaldson wins this too often. Right, okay, look, let's put everyone out of their misery. It's obviously Ghost Trick. Ghost Trick is the best game where you play a dead guy. Would have also accepted Grim Fandango, but it's got to be Ghost Trick. I can't put it in the intro sequence and then not accept it as the winner when it comes up in the topic. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Please leave us a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. Leave us a comment on YouTube or wherever you've watched it. Tweet us at VG247. And we're very much looking for topic suggestions, comments. James at one point in one episode solicited comments about his appearance, which was brave of him. But don't do that. And we'll see you all next week. Thank you very much.